Later on that day, a beggar came to the home and asked for some money and some food. And of course, he was busy waiting for God, and he told the beggar, he said, listen, I don't have time now. Come back another day, and I will give you this food and some money and so on. So he tells the beggar to leave, and he has a special guest coming. So he waited and waited, and then the Lord didn't show up. And late at night, the Lord didn't show up. So he was very upset. He went back to sleep and so on. And next day he went back to his guru. Right? And he says to his guru, he says, well, what happened? The Lord dreamt me, he told me that you're going to come to my house, and he didn't show up at the house. What happened? The guru said, my dear son, the Lord went 3 times to your house, and you didn't welcome him in. 3 times. First time he went as the fruit lady, and the second time he went as the cleaner, and the third time he was the beggar. Now, how would God come to you otherwise? If he's going to come to you with flying, like an angel, or magic, or how? He's going to come to you in the form of a person. So you never know, God could be sitting right next to you. You never know who's God. Because that person can come. And after seeing the movie Paid Forward, that Angelo lent me, I remember what happened to me when I first started this work. And I never told the story. But I was going to Tampa, and I was doing the seminars at first. And while I was coming back, it was late at night. It was like 1 o'clock at night. I was on this I-75. And I-75 doesn't have any lights, I don't know if you know that. So it doesn't have any lights, overhead lights. It's very dark. And I broke down with a flat in the I-75 at 1 o'clock at night. So I'm coming home back to Miami because I finished the seminar. And I pulled up in the corner, and I had just bought the car, so I don't know how to change the tire. So I started to pray, of course, in desperation, you have to pray. So I started to pray, and I said, Lord Shiva, I'm doing your work, at least send somebody to help me in this moment of darkness. So I'm busy trying to figure out the donut and how to unscrew the tire. And all of a sudden, out of the dark, there was nobody in this expressway. Out of the dark, this guy comes up. There's a little van. And he comes up, and he, very chubby looking white guy. And he looks like the guy in the movie God. So now, he comes up, he says, do you need any help? I said, of course, I need help. And he comes over, and he changes the tires. For me, he says, don't do anything, I'll do everything. So he does everything on the road while I waited, and he put on the donut and everything. And he said, follow me to the next exit. So I followed him to the next exit. True story, followed him to the next exit. And he took me to the truck stop, and we had the tire fixed, and he put it on back. And then he took me over by the convenience store because I wanted to get something. So I took out the money. I said, I have to pay you for all this. You've done some good things for me. He says, no, you can't pay me. I want you to help 3 more people. It's amazing that the story came to me. I remember as soon as I saw the movie. So he said, I need for you to help 3 people. I said, you sure I want to give you some money? He said, no, he doesn't want any money. all he wants me to do is help 3 people. I said, but I'm glad to help much more than that, but it's okay. You know? And it's amazing that story I remember, and he disappeared completely. I couldn't find him again. I could never find that guy again. So sometimes when God comes into your life, you will not know. You will not know. He comes into your life unexpectedly. But you have to make sacrifices. Probably if I was doing a seminar, I probably would not have gotten that message. But it's amazing that he told me that, and since then I've seen 40,000 people. So I think I fulfilled his request. So the whole idea is if each one of us could do that, that would be great. It would change the whole world. Right? So the greatest sacrifice, I said, is love. So love is the greatest sacrifice. It is. Why? Because we're willing to sacrifice anything for love. Right? Which is why we have love problems when we don't, when we're not willing to sacrifice. We have love problems. Right? Instead of trying to change the other person, the greatest sacrifice is changing yourself. Now, if the husband comes home and he wants some attention, right? But you don't feel like it, or you're mad at him, or something like that, but you know he needs attention, you're willing to sacrifice yourself, sacrifice your own feelings to please him. That is the greatest sacrifice. When you can sacrifice yourself like that, you can never lose. You become a winner. If somebody robs you, you have 2 choices. You could go to court and fight for that money. You can fight 6 months and everything, no peace. No peace there. Because you can't sleep, you're sacrificing, you're fighting this person. But if you leave it alone, right? If you leave it alone and sacrifice yourself in the sense of taking that loss. Now you might not believe me on this one, but it does work. You will never see the Swami in court. You will never see me in court if you rob me. I will never go to court. Because I feel that if I was robbed, it is a karma. So that is a karma that has been paid for. Now, I'll give you a good example. Anybody who's on welfare or who receives free money from the government, I will guarantee you that they will not be happy. You have to sacrifice for your wealth, for your happiness. Guarantee free money does not, you will lose it. Right? Right? My favorite one, and this one really ended up very sad, but I knew this lady, this young lady. She used to work at a jewelry company. And she would steal some of the jewelry, bring it home. So she will steal some of the jewelry and she'll bring it home. Now, it worked like that for her. She'll give to her friends, she impressed her friends, and she'll give them, oh, I have nice jewelry. And she'll impress her friends and everything. And eventually, she started to, probably sell it or something, whatever it is. Soon time she got cancer. And when she got cancer now, she couldn't, she didn't have any children, couldn't have any children, and so on. And so, at a young age, she died. Okay. Come boy. When So now, he needs some blessing. So now, as you can see, the importance of sacrifice, that she got everything free and it didn't benefit her. I could give you so many stories of this, that when people take things from other people without any payment, they end up in the hospital. Because they're taking someone else's karma. And the person who sacrificed that, who lost that, gains more. I like sometimes when people criticize me, because I think that something good is ahead. Criticism sometimes, and if it's in a good way, it will create constructive ways to correct yourself, or if it's a bad way, it will benefit the person who's being criticized. So that's important. So as you can see, sacrifice in love is what brings more love. Right? Now, I can always see when I visit somewhere, or I'm in temple and I observe the people and so on in temple, I can see who are people who are going to gain wealth, gain happiness in the future. Because I see how they sacrifice themselves to do something. Right? To clean the altar, or to do all of these things, it's a very great sacrifice. But none sacrifice is greater than a mother's sacrifice. And the female. I think the female is a heroine when it comes to sacrifice. Because the female person gives so much, and we don't recognize it. So what we would like to do is to ask that love, to gain love, you sacrifice yourself. And today we're going to specify on the picture.